If you work with multilingual learners or teach world languages, and if you haven't heard about Kagan cooperative grouping strategies, I urge you to read about them online or to better take their training. In a nutshell, Kagan's approach teaches us educators to create a variety of grouping formations, whether we are reviewing material, introducing, practicing, or applying the new content in language, or even informally assessing our students. No matter which group information you are choosing for your current lesson, some things with Kagan groups are always there. For example, simultaneous learning is happening, meaning every single student is engaged at the same time and everybody is actively participating. Also, individual students' learning outcome depends not just on their work, but also on their partners and teammates' work. As a language teacher, I see tremendous benefit in these grouping formations because they boost our language learners' production of language. Our students clarify new vocabulary and content and apply it right away in a non-threatening environment at their level. And today I'm going to show you how in my ELD pull-out classroom, I use one of my favorite group informations within Kagan's framework and how I add just a couple of scaffolds for our very beginning students to lean on. Now, language learners benefit greatly from these strategies, like I've mentioned, but they are also great for any variety of student. For example, last year I had the pleasure of co-teaching in a high school biology classroom, and this was a Kagan strategy that the teacher and I put together to practice some pretty hard content in difficult language. And now for my tutorial. Whenever I work with mixed grade levels and mixed levels of English proficiency, my go-to formation is inside-outside circle. And today I'm going to be using my language development vocabulary lesson that I've recently put together to teach my students about Chinese zodiac signs as I was teaching them about Chinese New Year's traditions. And by the way, just like with 99% of my video tutorials for teachers, you get to keep this entire vocabulary lesson all to yourselves for free. Just head over to the description box below to grab that lesson. All right, let's go. Today's structure is called inside-outside circle. It is very similar to the idea of speed dating. Students get to work with multiple partners. Each participant gets to ask and to answer a question or questions. So they get to be a teacher and a student. In this structure, first, we split the whole class in two groups. One group becomes the inside circle. These students face out, not each other. The second half of the class becomes the outside circle. They face the inside circle students and thus form pairs with them. The inside circle never moves. The outside circle will step to their left to form a new partnership when it is time to switch partners. My example lesson is from my ELD pull-out session. Students will be able to interview each other and provide appropriate information based on each other's responses. Here's how it went. First, we read an overview of the concept of Chinese zodiac signs. I put together this short summary. I included some word study to make sure we clarify unfamiliar vocabulary and some reading fluency of the numbers. If you have students who have just joined you and they're not able to read English at all, I recommend for you to give them this in their first language first, and I'm making sure that you are getting a copy that you can easily copy and paste in Google Translate. Let them preview in their first language and then read together as a class in English. After this step, students and I read these short descriptions of animals per Chinese zodiac calendar to make sure that everybody can read every animal's description. And as step 3, we played the inside-outside circle. This is my big piece of scaffolding. I call it a speaking card. I normally do this if I know there's a lot of information and if I know my language learners need help staying on task, asking questions and responding to them. So I marked here asker, for anybody who is supposed to be asking questions. Like, for example, we started with the outside circle being the askers, and then the other partner will be the responder, so they know exactly what to say. So the questions were as follows. Which year were you born in? Responder said, I was born in so-so. Asker, let me see. Responder, okay, sure. Asker, so your Chinese zodiac sign is, after they consulted this chart, they would tell them. Responder, that's cool, thank you. Asker, according to your Chinese zodiac sign, here are your traits. And then they go to this chart, which is on their clipboard, and read their traits. The responder says, this is interesting, thank you for sharing this information with me. The asker says, 再见.
From 2010. Let me see.
2020.
Say. Okay, sure.
So your Chinese zodiac sign is tiger.
That is good.
Then they switch, and the asker becomes the responder, and the responder becomes the asker.
So your Chinese zodiac sign is rabbit.
That's cool, thank you.
According to your Chinese zodiac sign, people born in this year are nice to be around. They like to talk, and many people trust them.
Now, of course, if you have higher proficiency students, they don't have to stick to the script of the responder. They can use their own words, which is totally okay. But for your newbies, you want to have these specific scripted phrases. As you could hear, this was a buzzing classroom, which is music to any language teacher, because there was listening, speaking, and reading involved all at the same time in such a meaningful way. But the true magic happened when every single student of mine got to interview a teacher or a group of them when they came to visit our classroom to celebrate Chinese New Year with us. All right, like I said, in the description box, you're going to have this link. I hope you will enjoy and stay tuned. I will be sharing more from my Kagan structures in ELD pull-out sessions and in general education classrooms.